Hey guys, what's up? This is Brandon, and this is my review of The Office Season 3. Season 3 of The Office. I just finished watching it today. Man, I love this show. The more and more I watch it, the more I realize I love this show. It's my favorite, I guess, sitcom of all time. I absolutely love it. I absolutely adore it. And Season 3 is where it seems to find it hits its stride in Season 3. Because Season 1, you either like it or you hate it. Season 2, it finds its footing. And Season 3 is where it finds its stride. It knows the kind of jokes it wants to tell. It knows the kind of comedy, it wants to deliver, the kind of stories, that kind of stuff. And I absolutely love this show. And Season 3 is great. There's a lot that goes on. A lot of story stuff that goes on and comedy stuff that goes on as well. So I took some notes. I love the show so much I took notes on it. So, I've seen the show so many times that it can play in the background. And I already know what happened in the episode because I've seen it so many times. Or I've seen the show so many times that you could play me like a 5-second clip from one of the episodes and I can tell you exactly what episode that is from. That's how many times I've seen this show. So The Office Season 3, Season 2 left off when, Jim confessed his love for Pam and all that kind of stuff. And, Pam, I don't know what her deal is, but she, So Jim transferred to Stamford. He transferred to Stamford, so he's no longer in the Scranton branch, no longer there. He's with a new set of people in Stamford, and the camera crew follows him to Stamford. We get Karen and Andy, two new characters that he meets in Stamford. Andy's played by Ed Helms, and now let me tell you, when I first met Andy, when I first watched this show and met Andy for the first time, absolutely hated the character. Absolutely hated the character. And I feel like Season 3 Andy is a confused and a not very focused Andy. It's an Andy that I didn't like, but I end up liking his character more as the show goes along because Andy's a beloved character to me. But in Season 3, when he's first introduced, I'm like, all my friends were saying they liked Andy. I'm like, why does everybody like him? He's not even that great. He is a douche through the entire Season 3, punched a hole in the wall, had no redeeming qualities about him, but people liked him. But I ended up liking his character as the show went on more. But Jim met Karen and Andy. And we get a funny episode where Dwight and Ryan go on a sales call together. I guess because Dwight is, the highest salesman in the office, so he wants to take Ryan under his wing and teach him about sales, and it ends up with him taking Ryan on the scavenger hunt through a barn where he wants him to wrestle his cousin and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty funny. And then, all that, talk of downsizing, all from Season 1. They downsized, he got rid of somebody. He got rid of somebody in, was it Season 3? Did he get rid of him or Season 2? I think he got rid of him in Season 2. But, Stamford and Scranton merged because, Scranton was going to get closed, but then it ended up being where Stamford ended up getting closed and Scranton merged. And Michael and Dwight were going to go to David Wallace's house because Dunder Mifflin got a new CEO, David Wallace. They were going to go to David Wallace's house and try to stop him from closing the Scranton branch. They were just sitting there on the stoop all day trying to reenact situations of how they would confront him to talk to him about it, but they never actually did. But it ended up with Stamford being closed and Scranton staying open. So Jim leaving to the Stamford branch because of Pam. He didn't want to see Pam. This first part of the season, he doesn't want to see Pam because, she rejected him twice. So he went to Stamford, and now he has to come back and be absorbed within the Scranton branch. And the absorption of the Scranton branch in Season 3 is hilarious because you got all these new characters to interact with Michael and see their reactions on him. Basically, it's a bunch of 5 people from Stamford, and 2 of them end up remaining, which are Karen and Andy. We get what's the dude's name? The convict. I forget the guy's name. The convict leads to one of the funniest episodes of The Office ever, where he plays Prison Mike. Eat in prison? Gruel sandwiches. It's like, you really expect us to believe you're somebody else? Do you not expect me to push you up against the wall, biatch? Tanks, Andy. Tanks. Oh my goodness. The Prison Mike episode, man, is iconic. Iconic. I see that Prison Mike thing as a meme everywhere. Everybody loves Prison Mike. But he ends up doing Prison Mike because one of the new people that got absorbed from the Stanford branch ended up being a convict. So he tried to scare them straight with his own prison talk, and it was hilarious. But that ended up driving that guy out of there. There was another girl who was like Angela. She was driven out of there because of Michael, but I didn't like her anyways. Nobody even liked her. Then there's another bigger guy, like a Kevin Malone-sized guy, and he didn't like Michael's management style, so he was out of there too. So you were left with Andy and Karen. I want to keep saying Aaron. I got Aaron on the mind. When I think of Andy, I think of Aaron, which we'll talk about that when I get to later seasons because they done botched that one. But, we'll talk about that later. And then Jim ends up dating Karen. Karen and Jim end up getting together. I think it's, Jim says he's happy with Karen, but deep down inside he still likes Pam. He wants to be with Pam. But I think he's just using Karen to cope with, Pam rejecting him or something like that. That's what I get out of it. And then, randomly in one of the episodes, Pam wants to be more telling the truth and more assertive. It's like, well, why couldn't you be like this in the first place? But she broke off her wedding with Roy because of Jim. She didn't go through with the wedding at all. And she ends up, staying friends with Roy. But she tells Roy that she kissed Jim, and Roy freaks out and he tries to attack Jim, and Dwight sprays him with pepper spray to stop him, it was funny. It was hilarious. And why Pam was with Roy in the first place boggles my mind. And even after he attacked Jim, I think she still wanted to be with him. I think. I'm not too sure. I don't think. Maybe I was wrong. But she seemed to keep going back to him. I'm like, she's got this not self-destructive tendencies, but like tendencies to be with a guy who treats her like crap for some reason, which a lot of women do. I have no idea why, but that's another topic for another video. But yeah, then she's in this limbo. She has the feelings for Jim, but Jim is with Karen now, and they're at the Scranton branch, and Pam misses the stuff that she used to do with Jim at the Scranton branch, but he's with Karen, but she rejected him, so, you rejected him, so you don't get to reap in that harvest. You don't get to have that, you don't get to have that kind of interaction with Jim, because he's got that with Karen now, and you're just sitting there single, just like, maybe you shouldn't have rejected Jim, but it is what it is. And then Andy, I'm swerving back to Andy. I'm going all over. My notes are kind of all over the place. So this is how we're going with it. But Andy leaves to get anger management because he punched a hole in the wall because Jim pulled a prank on him that made him punch a hole in the wall. So he had to leave. But yeah. Then towards the end of the season, there's a management position opening up in corporate. Michael is with Jan. They openly announce their relationship, but Michael's not happy with her, so he ends up breaking up with her halfway through the season. She comes back with a boob job, bigger boobs, so he gets back with her just because of her boobs. And then she ends up getting fired, and the job that they were all interviewing for, Jim was interviewing for it, Karen was interviewing for it, and Michael was interviewing for it. The job that they were interviewing for was Jan's old job. Jan was getting fired, so Jan got fired. She ended up being with Michael still, even though she was fired. So Michael still has his job. Dwight was manager for a few short episodes because Michael thought he was a shoo-in for the management position, so he sold his condo, gave Dwight his job prematurely, and did a whole bunch of stupid stuff that nobody would ever or should ever do when they have an interview for a new job. And it was funny, he would hand out these Schrute Bucks. I actually have one. Hold on a second. This is my refrigerator magnet of a Schrute Buck right here. One Schrute Buck. So if I keep collecting these, in about 100 years, I'll be a wealthy man. Wealthy man. And then the season ends with Ryan the Temp getting the new job at corporate, which leads into season 4. So, season 3 was a blast. It was a blast between Jim transferring to Stamford, intro of the new characters with Andy and Karen. The White Soul stuff with Ryan was funny. The merger and the hilarity that ensued with that. Michael dating Jan and, the back and forth between all that kind of stuff. Pam breaking off the wedding. It was a blast, man. It was a blast. I love season 3. It was a great season. And I can't wait to start watching season 4 again. So I'm going to give season 3 of The Office an A. Season 3 of The Office gets an A. It is a great season. And it only gets better from here. So if you've seen season 3 of The Office, let me know what your favorite moment is from season 3 of The Office. Mine is Prison Mike. Absolutely love it. But let me know yours in the comment section below. Also, let me know what you thought of season 3 overall. And also click that subscribe button if this is your first time viewing for more. This is Brandon. Thanks for watching. Peace.